This is TNC Movie Nights. We're back to talk about something that Alex had a pretty good idea, I thought, for this one. This would be fun. I'm shocked we haven't done anything like this, but we haven't really done a lot of lists recently. It's been quite some time since we've done a true list episode, so we're going to be doing a list today as it kind of jumps into it. But Alex, how are you doing? How's Tennessee?
Doing well. This will be actually the second to last week in Tennessee. We might even split them up next week. So we're enjoying it while we're here, and then we're gonna be kind of on the road for the van. How are you? How are you doing?
Pretty exciting. I'm doing well.
Nice.
Just getting through work. I'm off all of next week except for Monday, which I'll take it. It's a holiday, so I get double and a half times pay. So
Damn.
that's pretty sweet. But yeah, just pushing through this week to be off for pretty much a nice week, almost week and a half, and then we'll see where the journey takes us from there.
I like it.
It'll be a lot of fun. But today, as we did mention, we're talking about the most overrated movies. With that being said, before we get into it, if you have a movie that you think is very overrated, that you're just shocked that so many people like, or not shocked and you just don't like the movie, let us know in the comments which movie that might be, or let us know on Facebook, any of the other social media platforms. But let's go ahead and get into it today. Alex, where would you like to start?
Well, whenever we make a list, we always have honorable mentions. So let's start with that. And again, this is overrated, not just bad. So we're not just gonna trash bad movies because that's easy. We joked about it before, but I'm not gonna talk about Revenge of the Sith. Everyone knows that movie's trash, so we're not gonna bring it up for this. Why did I bring it up? Because I wanted to bring it up, but we're not gonna bring it up.
Disconnecting Alex from a call.
So these are gonna be movies that are sort of, whether it's by fans or critics, universally accepted as like good movies, and we just don't like them. So we'll start with the honorable mentions. I have two, and I kind of cheated a couple times on this list because we're technically doing movies, but I kind of like shoved something in there that's not really a movie. But one of them is, I'm sorry, it's Leonardo Dicaprio. I think he's a fine actor. I don't think he's amazing. I think some of his performances have been great. I think a lot of the movies he's in are great, but a lot of the before he won was like, can you believe Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have an Oscar? Yeah, I can. Sorry. So I don't dislike him, but I do think he's overrated a little bit. And the other one is Avatar now. For what it was at the time, it was amazing. Visually speaking, it was and still kind of is stunning, and it revolutionized the movie viewing industry entirely. It changed the way we watched 3D movies
100%, yeah.
Forever. I respect it for what it was.
Okay.
However, when you're not being blown away by these never before seen visual effects, it's like a C+ movie with a very, very unoriginal and white toast, like white bread, milk toast, whatever, storyline. It's just a meh movie that was at the time the greatest visual thing we've ever seen. But that was a long time ago. So those are my honorable mentions. What about you?
My honorable mention is a movie I really don't want to talk about a whole lot today. I've done enough talking about it, and that is the movie Elf. You all know that's my least favorite movie of all time, but I also think it's the most overrated movie of all time. However, it's not going to make my official list today because I've talked about it way too much. Don't really need to go in any more detail. If you want to hear me talk about Elf and how much I hate it, go back to literally every episode ever, and you'll understand why I don't like the movie. But we'll go ahead and jump into our actual list now. I want to start it off with my fifth movie I put on the list, and that is Avatar.
I swear, guys, we don't plan this stuff out intentionally. Like, I have no idea what his list is. He has no idea what mine is. This is just funny to me.
That's so funny. Yeah, to me, I'm blown away that people want more Avatar movies because I totally agree. The movie at the time was beautiful. It actually made me start to love 3D movies again. But now that the fact there's, I think, 2 or 3 Avatar films like confirmed, it blows me away because it was really boring. It was just an absolute snooze fest. I thought there are 3 additional Avatar movies being made.
Unobtainium, come on.
Yeah,
Really?
Don't really understand it. I thought the movie was okay at best, but yeah, really boring. Not a whole lot to it. I thought it was that typical like government wants power and weapons, but good guys. That was really it to me.
Yeah.
Don't really enjoy the movie. I've seen it a handful of times just because I know people love it, but it's, for what I can remember, way too long of a movie.
Colonizers looking for something worth value.
Yeah.
Oh, people or a group that was once considered savages that we learn are the good guys. I wonder how this is gonna end.
Exactly. At 2 hours and 42 minutes. I remember at the time it was a very long movie. Now to today's standards, because that was in 2009, it's kind of average for your big blockbuster movies, I would say, because Endgame 3 hours. So I mean, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to start with Avatar. I thought it was kind of funny that it was on your list as well. But Alex, what's a movie you want to talk about? And this doesn't have to go like in perfect order of a list. Like this isn't technically like my fifth or anything, but just a list that we've created.
I kind of have them in like top down order, so I'll go with it. But just like I'll preface that by saying this was kind of just thrown together in this order, so I might feel a little bit more strongly given the day. But toward the bottom of the list, I have Napoleon Dynamite. I did not like that movie. To its defense, I saw it when I was too young to understand basically all of the humor, but I literally didn't even finish it. It's one of the few movies, I mean, there might be like one more that I can't even think of right now, but I literally couldn't finish it. It was so stupid and it was so boring. I just could not get into it. And so I remember I was watching with my mom when I was like, again, way too young to get the jokes. And I was like, can we turn this off? This sucks. And so we did, and I've never seen it since. So I think I do need to give it its fair shot as an adult, but the image that it has in my mind right now is utter trash.
Man, this might be one of those episodes where it's just a lot of like, oh my god, me too. Oh my
Is
god,
that the
me
next
too.
one on your list?
No, no, it's not. Not a huge fan of the actor, to be very honest, John.
Well, I liked him
Heaton.
in Benchwarmers.
I didn't. Another movie I don't like. Don't like Benchwarmers, and it's probably because of the cast of it. But yeah, just could never really get into Napoleon Dynamite either. I do agree with you, though. I think I might have been too young, so I need to go back and give it its fair chance. Being, 24 at the time, and that came out when we were 8. So I probably
I
saw
was
it when
like
I was
13.
like 10.
I was probably like 9 years old watching that movie. Maybe
Yep.
I did wait a couple of years, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that long. So I was way too young to get it.
Yeah, and that's kind of
Let's
where
see.
I'm at with it too. So I do think I need to give it another shot. But yeah, a lot of people talk about how much they love that movie, and I just didn't like anything he was in. Didn't like Blades of Glory, but that's also I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan. Benchwarmers, I hate that movie. For all baseball movies, I know we just talked about like sports and stuff not too long ago, especially baseball stuff. That's one of my least favorite baseball movies of all time. Maybe my least favorite. I'm shocked I didn't put that on my list. But yeah, I can
Fair
understand how
enough.
you feel with it though.
Fair enough. What you got next?
The next one on here is a movie that I was actually really surprised on how high up, because I actually did a lot of mine off of the IMDb list of most popular movies, best rated movies of all time. And
Okay.
this was Midsummer. Really don't care for that movie. I think I just don't like anything that director does, to be honest. It's just kind of weird. And I'm just not into weird movies. I'm cool with like
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just it felt like they were trying really hard to just I don't know, just kind of creep you out, and it's kind of a horror, kind of a suspenseful movie, and a lot of people I know love it. I know my girlfriend thinks it's like one of the best movies ever, and I just don't really get it. Was not a fan, and it's like the 41st movie on IMDb of all time movies, and I'm like, really? Really? Ari Aster, I think is how you say his name, but yeah, like he does a lot of just kind of odd movies like Midsummer, Hereditary, Disappointment
Okay.
Boulevard's one that's being worked on right now. I don't know, just not into it. Maybe it's just over my head or something, but yeah, I just can't get into those movies that are just like kind of creepy.
I gotcha. That's on my list of movies that I've been told I definitely need to watch that I just haven't gotten around to yet. So I will see it at some point.
Yeah.
I just haven't yet, so I don't really have much of an opinion on this one.
Oh, that's understandable.
Next for me is I have actually a couple back to back that are like thought of as like classics and people love them. And the first one is Grease. I hate Grease. I don't like it. I don't know. it's a really problematic plot of just like find a man, change yourself in every way that best suits him, and then you guys can drive off into the sunset. And you're just like, well, that's a little much. And then it's also just bad. And I don't know. I mean, if you like musicals and stuff like that, which I'm not against, I like some musicals out there for sure. I like a lot for sure. But this one, it's just, don't like it. It drags on for me. It's so just like nails on a chalkboard. I just don't like it.
I will say we do have a lot of very different viewpoints on movies. Like I can always understand your thought process of looking at a movie through like today's eyes of culture and stuff. So I can definitely understand that. I do always try to look at movies from when they were made to try to not harshly judge on what has become okay and stuff, which certain ways I think it's good ways to look at it. Some movies I do think are like just was too much at the time too.
Right.
I will say I just don't like Grease. It's not for the reason you said, but damn, it's a boring movie.
It's not good.
I just think it's really boring. That's I've watched
for
it a lot.
So long.
Yeah,
My mom loves Grease, so it's not like I watched it once and never. Like we had the Grease karaoke CD. I never liked it. It wasn't a burnout sort of thing. It's just I don't like it. I didn't like it. I've never liked it. I ain't gonna like it, and I'm sorry if you like it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just never cared for it. I've watched it probably half a dozen times or more. I know as a family, I know we've seen it a bunch of times, and I've a lot of different people I've hung out with. They've also thought it's a really good movie. So I've given it multiple shots when I'm older too, and I just not my thing. Just really, I don't know. Never cared for the movie. It's weird because like I like John Travolta, I think. But it's like every movie he's ever been in, I just don't like.
He's hit and miss for me. There are a couple, like, I just watched Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, I like, and From Paris with Love, which isn't, not From Paris with Love, From Russia with Love, the other one that he was in. From Paris with Love? It is From Paris with Love. The one that they did the name, and it was flipped, and he was wax, whatever. Those both came out around the same time, and I liked both of those. From Paris with Love's not great, but it's not bad. So there are a couple that he's in that I'm like, all right, that's a pretty solid flick, or it was fun to watch. And others, you realize just how much of an absolute whack job he is, and you're like, hard pass. This is a swing and a miss there, Johnny. And I don't know. Grease was like in his prime, I guess, but I still just don't like it.
Yeah, no, I can understand. It's weird because I think I've seen him like in interviews and stuff, and I think he's actually kind of funny, and I enjoy him off screen, but I don't like his movies really, which is just really weird. Yeah, I get it though. I can understand. The next one I have on my list, I think I just hate horror movies or just everything like that in general because I was blown away when this movie was so high up on IMDb for their list, but Saw, number like 20th movie of all time for their ratings, and I'm like, really? Like I don't know. I just gore doesn't like get me at all. I'm not someone who's grossed out by it. I'm cool. Like I love Mortal Kombat, the movie. I thought was really cool. You could have completely taken the gore out of Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, that movie is just as good as it is without or with the gore. I don't know. Just like Deadpool. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's R. It needs to be more vulgar and more crazy and more bloody and gory. And I'm like, you can make Deadpool PG-13, and I'd be like, cool. I'm all right with it. I don't need the vulgarity and the like super crazy stuff with it. Another reason I'm kind of throwing this in here is because there's the other Saw movie coming out pretty soon, which I actually do want to see. I really like Chris Rock personally. I've always enjoyed him growing up, so I would kind of like to see how he can perform as a much seriouser role, because I always know him as more of a comedy actor or just a stand-up comic. So
totally.
I don't
know. I don't have the same sort of super overratedness of Saw. I think the franchise itself, for sure. I think the first one was pretty solid. It was, I don't know about one of the better, but it was a really solid twist ending. And was Gary Ellis in that one? Who's the dude? No, I'm sorry. I gotta look this up.
You said Gary Ellis?
No, Gary Ellis, the Wesley
Yes,
from Princess Bride. Yeah, he was one of the guys in there. He was the main guy, like in the building, right? I think he did a fabulous job. I think it was gory, which like at the time wasn't maybe new or revolutionary, but it was like a little different, so it was kind of a shock to the system thing. And I think for
Go ahead, sorry.
I just think for the genre, it brought maybe a lot of new viewers. So I think it was good for the business, and I think the first movie was well written, and then I mean, but when you're measuring in 5 and 6 and all that stuff, we talked about this with sequels. Very few franchises are strong through their like 5th and 6th movie and their second reboot and all that jazz. Yeah. So
I should have worded it better. It's not exactly the first Saw movie that gets me. It's the problem that it blows me away that the franchise is big as it is. How many Saw movies are there?
I think there's like 6, right?
9.
What?
9.
There's no. I thought what?
Yep.
I thought there was 6 and then the new one.
There's Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Saw the final chapter in 2010, then Jigsaw in 2017, and now Spiral, which is the new one.
Oh, I forgot about the Jigsaw. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah, that's just. And didn't they? I don't know this, and I don't know if you know this, but I think they spent like the whole middle of the franchise just like kind of Days of Future Passing the beginning of it, just like retconning all this stuff, like because and then but the whole time, and you're like, get out of here, you guys are just trying to make money, which like you did, so I guess mission accomplished. But
yeah,
what cost?
It does kind of blow me away that there's just that many movies. Like, if Saw would have been just one movie, or even like a sequel, or they rebooted it now, I'd be like, you know what, I get it. Like, it was interesting when it happened, but yeah, because I tried watching a lot of them growing up and stuff. Like, I saw probably 2, 3, 4, and maybe even 5, and I was just like, yeah, I just don't get why the franchise is so popular. And then seeing now, because I didn't know there was 9. I thought there was 5, and then like the Jigsaw movie, and then the new movie. But yeah, there was a couple extras. But yeah, I just never could care for the franchise personally.
I think I've seen like maybe 3 of them, and not even 3 or 4, and not even the ones in order. I think I've seen the first and the second. I remember the second being not terrible, the first one being pretty solid, but then they just kind of went over the top, and then they were like, what do the people like from the first one? And it was plot twist, extreme gore, and then they're like, cranked up the dial, more twists, more gore, blood, he's the killer, but he always was, but he never has been, except he always was. You're like, just go away.
Yeah,
it was annoying. But anyway, my third one on this list going up is The Wizard of Oz. I know a lot of people love it. It's like, it goes down as a lot of people's favorite movies. It's on those like best movies of all time list. I do not like The Wizard of Oz. I've never liked it. It's tedious. It's boring. It's dumb. And I like old movies, and I like classics and blah, 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 blah. I took a class on this damn movie, and not the one that I talked about before. I did a different class, and we talked about this movie for like 4 weeks. And like all of the like how it's an allegory for this, and it means that, and it means this, and it was the Industrial Revolution, and like some of it got like a little tinfoil hatty in that class. I'm not gonna name drop the teacher, but you'll know the one. She was a little bit kind of out there, a little bit. But she hated that movie, but loved talking about it because of how much like it meant for the time and all of the symbolism in it. And cool, that's great. Those are really cool. It goes really in depth, and you should watch like videos on all of the symbolism and the meaning and the vague conspiracy theories about what that movie and how like every scene means something. And then you get like the put the record on and let's watch it. But I just don't like it. It's just a not good movie. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hate that it's just this constant, like, yeah.
You don't like it either, do you? Well, we disagreed last week, so we got to get back on track with like, yeah, I agree. Anyway.
I'm almost positive I know exactly what teacher you're talking about, too.
Uh-huh.
We were in the class
Uh-huh.
together, yeah?
No, not the same year, because I think
Are you sure?
we might have had a stud. Were we in that same class together?
You, me, and one of our other friends. Like the only friend that we had that was like a mutual friend that was your grade. Becca. I could have
Did
sworn
we
we were
have
all in
that
the same
class together?
I think we did.
I think we might have. I don't know. And that
almost
teacher
positive.
was fantastic. I
Loved
had
her.
such a cool relationship
Loved
with her
her.
because
Oh, God,
like
yeah.
she was aggressively sarcastic in the way that like you never break, and I love committing to a bit, and I love when people commit to bits, and that was like her whole thing was just like it felt like the whole class was a bit and she just never broke, and so I appreciated that. And like I would try to make her break, and then she could see that I was like trying to make her break, like I see what you're doing. She was like, I see what you're doing, but it ain't gonna happen. So we just had like this mutual respect sort of thing. She was great, but also a little like like a little bit out there.
Fair.
She had fun in the 70s, I'll just say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's really funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just not a great movie.
No, that's totally fair. Not a huge fan myself. The next one I have on here, I thought it'd be kind of fun to put this on here because this did rank really high and up on IMDb. It was like number 11 of all time movies. And it's weird for me to put a superhero movie on a list.
You found wait, first of all, there's an IMDb like top. There's a superhero on that list. I think I even looked at the list. I didn't see any superheroes. Oh wait, there are. Go for it.
Joker.
Nice.
It's good. It's a fine movie. I just don't think it's as like ridiculously incredible as like some people make it out to be. So many people say it's like the best superhero movie of all time, and I don't get that. But yeah, funny enough, yeah, there were a couple of superhero movies up on the top of the list. There was
the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight was number 3,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest, I'm cool with it. One of my favorite movies of
Great.
all time.
Great
Avengers
flick.
Endgame, totally understandable.
Is Spider-Verse up there?
It might be. Thor Ragnarok is so. There are
That's a
some
good one.
decent ones that are on here for superheroes, but I left Joker being like, you know what, that was interesting. It was a decent take on a kind of a new twist on a superhero character. A supervillain. But I don't think it's that good. And it always really bugs me when I talk to people and they're like, so what's your favorite superhero movie or your favorite like nerd movie, culture, like all that kind of stuff? And they tell me Joker. And it bugs me because like all these other movies I've brought up, I just don't like them. But Joker, I enjoyed, but it just blows me away on how high people have this movie. Have you seen this movie?
I have not, but I have seen a ton of clips from that movie. So I feel like I've
Okay.
seen about half of the movie. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound mean, and that's because it is. I think the reason for that is you had a very small pocket that pretty much exists in our generation of Anakin Jokers, like the sad boy, incel-y, nice guy, just the biggest douchebags in the world who feel like they're owed everything, but it's there to get me. Those types of guys. The ones who I have bashed countless times on there because they're bad people. And I think perfect example. When Heath Ledger's Joker came out, everyone was like, give him all of the Oscars. Then you had a large group of people who were like, awesome, I'm going to do the voice, I'm going to put the makeup on, that's cool. And then some people never left. And they felt like, I am seen. Look at, like, I deserve everything because I'm this, I can be your angel or your devil, like that type of stuff in there. And then the Joker came out and they're like, and now we are heard and we shall rise as a group and take back the power that has been so unrightfully stripped from us. And you're like, you need to go sit down because you're a monster. And so I'm not like, that is a very small group of folks. And that is not the majority of the folks who like that movie. And even if it's your favorite movie, cool. But I think a little bit of the love from that gets pumped up a little bit from that pocket of folks who feel that's their anthem, you know? That's their sort of tune to march to, I guess. I'm trying not to bash everyone who likes this movie because I really am only talking about this group of folks here. And it's those like nice guys and it's just like I don't know. I just feel like the Venn diagram of dudes who act like that and dudes who think that's the only good superhero movie, that's a circle. That's just one circle. And so that's my take on it. But again, I haven't watched the whole thing, so maybe I'm not the voice to listen to on this one. Just what I've been noticing. Not the riffs.
I that's why I would recommend giving it a shot
Yeah, I definitely want to watch it.
because I think you'd enjoy it. I think you'd watch it and be like, that was a solid movie. It was an interesting take on
Yeah.
superheroes. But yeah,
I like Joaquin Phoenix, so
Yeah.
he's
Oh, yeah, me
he's
too.
he's a pretty underrated actor. I've heard some so stories about who he is as a dude, but I've also heard he just kind of gets a little method, so that might be it. I've heard some really good stories about who he is as a dude, but overall his performances, like I loved him in Gladiator, he was fantastic. So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What is your should be final one on your list?
I have two more.
Okay.
The number two on the list is pretty much anything directed by Quentin Tarantino. Speaking of people who are monsters, I think he is a bad person, and I think his movies are mostly plagiarized and just an excuse for him to say the N-word and have someone put a foot in his face. So I don't like him just in general, and his movies are. I did really like Inglourious Basterds, though. Credit where credit's due. And Pulp Fiction, while being one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen, the scenes with Samuel L. Jackson in them are beautiful. Like the speeches and the burger scene, like great. The diner scene, great. Also, I love Christoph Waltz. And so it's really hard when there's a lot of actors that I really, really like in movies directed by a guy I really, really hate. Because, like, their performances are fantastic. So I guess, again, credit where credit's due. He gets what he needs out of the actors. But I think he is a monster. And I think his movies, he admits he steals a lot of things from. And it's like, okay, you're a student of cinema. That doesn't give you free reign to just plagiarize movies and then add blood spurts and racial slurs and then call it your own and win an Oscar. So just pretty much everything in that scape. There are some are more decent than others. Some scenes are pretty solid in some movies, and like I said, some of the actors do an amazing job. So outside of Inglourious Basterds and like 20 minutes of Pulp Fiction, I think everything he does is just overrated.
The last movie on my list today, Pulp Fiction.
Oh my god.
I don't know how it keeps happening, but yeah, Pulp Fiction. I've seen it probably one, maybe two full times all the way through. I just remember hating it every single time I watch it. Don't really care for the movie, as I already mentioned previously. You know, weirdly enough, just not a huge fan of. I'm losing his name now. John Travolta in acting films. I love Samuel L. Jackson though.
Yeah,
and it just sucks
and he
because
was
like
amazing in that.
Yeah, like the cast is great. Like yeah, that's the only part I can even slightly enjoy about the movie is Samuel L. Jackson. But yeah, I don't know. This movie is just really I don't know why, but like boring is like the word I want to use, but there's a lot going on in it, so it really shouldn't be boring. But yeah, I don't know. I just do not enjoy this movie whatsoever. And it is one of those movies I hear people all the time saying it's one of their favorite movies of all time. So I'm sorry, people that watch this and they're like, hey, he's stupid. I'm like, I know. But yeah, I just... another person I really do love in this movie, I will say, is Tim Roth. He was in a movie back in 2015 called Hardcore Henry. If you haven't seen that movie's dope. A lot of fun, but yeah.
He was in, God, what the hell was the name? Was it Lie to Me, or what was that show he was in?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
Lie
Lie to Me.
I
I
remember
used to watch Lie to Me.
That was a
It was
fun one.
it's pretty good show. And yeah, he was in Reservoir Dogs. He's great. And that's the thing. That's what Quentin Tarantino does, man. He gets these amazing actors all together, and then he writes half a movie, steals the other half. And then, like I said, he adds in blood spurts and racial slurs, and then a really shitty cameo by him. He is not a good actor, and he gives himself way too much to do in a movie. Like, M. Night Shyamalan has his flaws, for sure. But he does the cameo thing right. Be in the movie, then 2 minutes later, be out of the movie. That's it. That's the level of like, hello. Unless you're Taika Waititi, then he can just be in the movie as long as he wants because he's also a great actor. But you just get your ass out of the film. You are a bad actor, and just go away. He's a pretty solid cameraman, I will say. Some of the shots he does are solid, but still overrated. It's like everything he does, he just gets way too much credit for. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I would almost just put him as like a whole like overrated for me as well. I don't like any of his movies. I do need to say I need to rewatch Inglourious Bastards because I don't know if I ever actually like, fully watched that one. But yeah, I can't think of one Quentin Tarantino movie that I actually do like just looking through them right now. I mean, didn't like Hateful Eight, Django didn't care for, Kill Bill sucks. I hate the Kill Bill movies.
Reservoir Dogs was okay.
I don't know if I've seen that one, to be very honest with you.
It was.
I'd
Yeah,
have to
it was
rewatch that
decent.
one, and yeah, it's really the big ones that I can see on here. But yeah, I guess Inglourious Basterds is probably like the one could do it movie. But yeah,
I do like it. It's not without
oh, yeah,
flaw.
it's my
but
favorite.
It's a solid flick.
It's my girlfriend's favorite movie of all time. So
Really?
Yeah, I need to give it a shot.
It's worth watching. Like, it's one of those where it's like if that wasn't the shining star above all, then it would be like great. But because I don't know. I just don't like Quentin Tarantino. But anyway, my number one most overrated movie, and I was a little frustrated with this because I was so wanted to see it and I was so looking forward to it and it was such a letdown, is 2001: A Space Odyssey. I wanted to see that movie for like a decade and I never got around to it. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I never got around to seeing it, and then I finally saw it and I was like, oh my god, I'm finally gonna watch it. And then I watched the whole damn thing and I was like, that was possibly the biggest letdown of my entire life. It is so overrated, and it is like there are like 4 decent moments in that movie. And let me see how long this damn movie is. Because they're like, and the decent moments are like, wow, that shot was cool. And like the spinning camera thing. And like Hal reading the lips. That scene is super cool. But it's almost 3 hours long. It's 2 hours and 44 minutes. And about 4 of those minutes are worth watching. The rest of it is just drawn out. Like, it somehow feels pompous. Like the movie is full of itself. It thinks it's doing something and it's really not. Like that movie is like a little bit of absurdity away from being Lucy. Like that level of just like, go, just shut up. Stupid ass movie. And I get mad because, like I said, I wanted to like it so much. That was going to be like, I finally saw it. It's one of the best movies ever. And it sucked. It sucked. And Kubrick, whatever, you're a great director. But just go away. I mean, we just watched Doctor Strangelove. So, like, he's got some good stuff. But that movie blows.
This was fun. It's always nice to kind of just rant, let it out. And again, if we said we don't like one of your favorite movies, let us know in the comments. We're sorry. But as I was going through my list that I went off with, my honorable mention being Elf, you guys already knew that. Avatar, Midsommar, Saw, Joker, Pulp Fiction. Alex.
And Leonardo DiCaprio and Avatar as being slightly overrated as my honorable mentions. Napoleon Dynamite, Grease, The Wizard of Oz, Quentin Tarantino, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Tim Allen didn't make the list because he's not worthy of being rated at all. I had to get in one more dig while we're ranting. We gave Doolittle its due. We haven't quite hit Tim Allen yet, so whenever we're just like bad-mouthing stuff, I always got to throw his name in here because he's an ass. But anyway, we had fun. This was fun. This was nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. Expect to see most underrated movies eventually down the line. Will it be maybe next month? Possibly. There is a chance. Of course, we do have some news episodes coming up. We'll do our, hopefully, fingers crossed, do like a monthly anniversary movie upcoming. I think that'd be a lot of fun to keep doing those. We had a lot of fun with Shrek.
Yeah.
As we talked about, we will most likely be doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory next month. Comedy Breakdown next month. A lot of good stuff coming up. If you want to stay updated, hit the subscribe button, the little notify somewhere like that somewhere. Hit the notification
Mirrored,
bell.
so I don't know where anything is. Yeah, you're there on my screen, but you're there on everyone else's screen, so I'm not even going to try to point.
So, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We would really do appreciate if you're listening to Spotify, anything like that. Share it, follow the podcast on Spotify. Again, thank you so much for the time. If you want to support us, Alex, let the people know where they can do that, find that, all that good stuff.
They can do that, find that, all that stuff at thenerdchambers.com. That's where we post all of our articles, all of our shows, not even just this show, all of the shows that are under the Nerd Chambers umbrella. They get posted on the website. Once these go up on YouTube, usually within the hour, I have it up on the website anyway. So like, even if you're wherever you are subscribed to, you can also go to thenerdchambers.com, meet the team if you haven't, all that jazz. You can also support us visually. We're supporting the merch. I brought back the tie-dye. Haven't seen it in a hot minute. We're double movie nights, finally. We've been doing like Penguin and the TNC stuff. Good to see some throwbacks to good old movie nights logo. But that's where you can get that as well. Like Brandon said, YouTube, Spotify, all that jazz. That's where we are. On all the socials, we're just TNC Movie Nights. We're posting on TikTok again. So, yeah, check us out there. Oh, crap. I just realized that means that we got to watch one of these overrated movies for our review.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We'll figure that out.
Damn it. All right, well, we'll see you guys for that. Until then, I'm Alex. He's Brandon. See ya.